everybody. Welcome to my Instagram Live. And this week, we are speaking to one of my most amazing, talented friends who has so many talents. You can hear him in the background now. Who could it be? Well, he's going to join us very, very soon, live from Maastricht in the Netherlands. Now, let me tell you something. This lovely gentleman is one of my favorite people in the world. In fact, I call him my big bro because we're so close, so, I don't know how to say this. We're just such good friends. I've never met somebody that I could connect with on this level. So let's have a look here. We are going to see if we can find him, because on Instagram, he has a very different name. His name is Don Carillon. Does that give you a little bit of an idea of who this might be? He plays the Carillon. I'm just waiting for him to join my Instagram Live. The song you're hearing is called Circus Wrens. Bum, 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 bum. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the chat. My wonderful and dear friend, all the way from Maastricht, it's Frank Steijns.
There he is. Hello. Hi, Mirusia.
I'm partying to your music, Frank.
Cool.
Welcome to the chat. It's so lovely to have you here on Instagram. I know that you're not really a big Instagrammer. In fact, your Instagram account only has 2 photos.
I think yes. I have an account that's also not. I'm not very much on social media, but Instagram, I just put 2 photos or something. But I'm glad I have an account. So I can speak to you.
Frank, how are you today? Where are you at the moment?
I'm in my music studio. It's the lowest floor of our house. We have a music studio. I have a little piano here, so I can compose and work here. So yeah, that's where I'm now.
I love it. And Frank, you're very used to being up high as well when you ascend the tower in Maastricht to play the most interesting instrument, the Carillon.
Yeah, that's my instrument. My father played it. He was a carillonneur since 1952 or something. So when I was a very little boy, I went up with him into the tower and saw him playing, and the whole city was listening. So I wanted to do that myself. So and he said, just 2 options. Either way, you get an education and you learn how to play the instrument, or you don't play at all. So I went to where I could learn to play the carillon. And now I play it every Saturday in Maastricht.
I love it. I love it. So everybody, when you're in Maastricht, every Saturday you can hear Frank. At what time do you usually play?
At 1 o'clock on Saturday, except when I'm on tour, then it might be the Sunday. But sometimes we come back on Sunday morning. Then I go instantly to the tower and I play the carillon.
That's amazing. Frank, you're so multi-talented. You also play many other instruments. But I just want to take everybody back to the reason why we're speaking together and why we know each other. So I just want to take everyone back to the year 2007. We were in the studio at André Rieu's in Maastricht, and that's where we first met, because I did my audition for André. He invited me out of Australia to come and do an audition for him to be one of his soloists in his show. And I remember that I walked into the studio and I met Andre and I met Marjorie, and it was just like I knew them. It was a very strange meeting. And then he said, well, anyway, by the way, this is Frank Steijns, and Frank is going to be accompanying you today in the audition. And I was a little bit starstruck because I had already seen you on the DVD in Maastricht, where you run incredibly fast up and down the tower and all around Maastricht just to get up there in time to play the bells. And so I think our first meeting was actually quite hilarious because I was just like, oh my gosh, you're the guy from the Bells. And it was pretty crazy. Do you remember that day?
Of course, I remember. Andre called me. Do you want to? I have a soprano. She's coming to sing, and do you want to accompany her? And then I asked him, what is she coming to sing? And then he said, she can sing anything. So be prepared for anything. So I didn't know what you were going to sing. I just showed up. And there was this little girl with a charisma beyond belief. And she entered the studio. And Andre told me, yeah, I think her aunt sent me some video of YouTube. And she has such an amazing voice. I just put her on the airplane from Australia straight here. So you did what? So that was you. And you came. And you sang, and I remember Andre crying when you were doing your audition, and then I knew this is going to be a long working together. Yeah,
absolutely, and it still is. Now, Frank, I have had so many questions over the past week, and some extremely interesting questions from our audience out there. So I'd like to get started on asking you some of these questions, because I think that they're going to tell your story a little bit too, so that people will get to know you a little bit better. And I have one question to start everything off, to kick everything off, to just establish your relationship status, because there is a lady called Lynn Laurie who has been watching you since the year 2000 and would like to know if you are married.
Married? Yeah, that's a good question. A very actual.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen, the new wedding ring. You just recently got married to the beautiful Madika.
No, 5 weeks. No, it's already 2 months ago that we married. The honeymoon weeks, and yeah, we had a Corona wedding actually. So yes. We decided to get married, and we didn't postpone anything. Just we got married, and it was a fantastic day. Yeah.
We've got somebody here in the comments who's actually putting crying faces. I think some women are really disappointed now, Frank.
Do you think so?
But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I can assure you that Madika is an angel. She is just such a beautiful woman, and you've probably seen her. She sings in the choir with André Rieu, and she sometimes comes up the front as a soloist as well. She's gorgeous. She's a beautiful mezzo-soprano, and I'm so privileged to know her and Frank as well. Now, Frank, I'm going to take you through some other questions. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Okay. Sue Macefield would like to know, how many languages do we both speak, and we can also sing in different languages. So she'd like to know about how many languages do we both speak. How many languages do you speak, Frank?
I speak Maastricht dialect. That's the most important.
Yes.
And Dutch, English, German, French.
Amazing.
Yeah, the rest is all, when we go on tour, it's like, I am hungry, I am thirsty, where is the bathroom? That's all the things we know in all of the world, but those 5 languages I speak fluently. Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, I, like you, I also speak, obviously, English. For speaking in English. Ik kan ook Nederlands praten. I can speak in Dutch as well. Nederlands was eigenlijk mijn eerste taal. It was my first language, surprisingly, growing up in Brisbane, but my parents are Dutch, so it was kind of just natural that I spoke Dutch first. And yes, Maastricht dialect is an extremely complicated other language. In a way, it's a different language, because a lot of people from the Netherlands who might live a bit more further north, they cannot understand the Maastricht dialect. It's so very different, so far removed from Dutch, actually. It's kind of almost German, German mixed with, French. I don't know, everything, with Dutch, with everything. It's very, very different. We've got someone here who can speak 8 languages. That's incredible. Language is such a wonderful thing. And just sing in different languages is really fantastic too. And as a lot of you know, I've sung in the Maastricht dialect when I've sung the Maastricht anthem at the very top with André, where Frank is always playing the violin. And this leads me to my next question, which is from Rhonda Bradley. Rhonda asks, I've been lucky to hear Frank play the piano as part of the Maastricht Salon Orchestra. But what are the differences for Frank when he plays the same music on the violin when he plays with the JSO?
Okay, that's a good question. When you play the violin, you play only the melody. And I'm lucky one because I don't need to play to have any. I don't have anything to do with the words like you do. You have to remember all the words. I only have to remember the melody and play along. So actually, in a way, playing violin is more easy because you only play the melody, and in the piano you play all these chords and so many notes.
All
and
the fingers.
yeah, and in the Maastricht Salon Orchestra, it's more like with the piano you can, conduct more, and you're more part because you're only 5 people playing. And with the violin, you can more. It's more easy to follow. André is conducting, and I'm in the group of violinists, and in a way, it's more easy. So playing the piano in the Salon Orchestra is more like a challenge. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. That's interesting. It's nice. I love that you play so many different instruments. And then let's go on to your main instrument of choice, which is of course the carillon. And this is a very interesting one. Can you tell us a few facts about the carillon? Like, how many are there around the world? We've had a question during the week: how many carillons around the world have you played? Because assuming you've played on many in different parts of the world, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, the carillon is actually our national instrument, like from the Netherlands and from Flanders. And after the First World War, as a remembrance to the soldiers that fell in Flanders, a lot of other countries and the Commonwealth, they adopted the carillon and put them in their own country. So you see, like 100 years ago, the number of carillons have doubled in the whole world. But 100 years ago, there were like 200 carillons, all in Holland and Belgium. And now we have 100 carillons all over the world.
Wow, amazing.
Sydney.
So, yes, I remember you playing when you were on tour down under. I remember you saying, well, I'm off to Sydney now because I've been invited to play the carillon. And we can actually hear that on YouTube. You can look it up on YouTube. You can see Frank playing at it's the University of Sydney's Carillon, which is beautiful. And I think, did you play the one in Perth as well?
Perth is another one because you cannot play it by hand. It's a very nice tower, the Swan Tower, but it's ringing bells. That's not what I do. I'm not Quasimodo. I don't pull the ropes. I did it for André. I played the carillon, which is kind of different. And I played, I think, half of all the carillon in the world because going on tour with André makes it easy to go.
So is it safe? I think, Frank, it's safe to say that you are the world's most famous carillon player.
Maybe the most well-known or the most notorious.
Okay, Frank, I want to ask you a couple more questions, and that is, talking about the carillon, Gunilla Berlin has asked you the question: when did you start to play the carillon, and why? So you said before that your father said to you, you can play this instrument, but how old were you at that point?
I was 5 years old. So the story that André tells is like my father. He was playing for a lot of people. He inaugurated the new carillon of Maastricht in the church, and the whole square was full of people, and he was playing and the square was singing, and I thought, this is what I want to do. And I was 5 years old by then. But to play the carillon, you have to have muscles. So I waited 10 years until I was 15 years old, and then I learned to play the carillon. Yeah.
So that's amazing.
If they have known the instrument. Yeah.
I love it. You've brought me up to the tower before in Maastricht, which is just gorgeous. You have such an incredible view of the city, and to see you play the carillon in person is something very, very special. It's a very unusual instrument. You actually hit it with your hands.
The fists, yes, because the clappers of the bell are so heavy. My carillon is about 20,000 pounds of bronze. So to get the sound coming from the bells, you have to really put all your strength in it. So it's a very physical instrument, other than playing violin or piano.
That's incredible. You have so many different facets and you play so many different instruments. It's really incredible. Plus, you have a very fine singing voice too, which a lot of people may not know. We have a question here from Eliza Turner, who asks, does it actually hurt to play the carillon?
At first it hurts, but then you get a certain technique. I just had a concert and you can see that still I have some bruises. It's part of the game. Yeah. Single
Wow. Sounds like an abusive
yeah.
relationship. Frank, Janelle Retch would like to know, we've previously composed 2 songs together. This Time Tomorrow, which we wrote as a co-write with Graham Press, my musical director, and Journey, which we wrote together in just a couple of hours. We sat at the piano and we said, let's write a song, and we wrote that song, which you can find on my albums. Go and have a listen to Frank and I having a bit of a play. But she would like to know, what's the possibility of composing a song together, combining the voice and the Carillon?
Oh, instantly. Let's do this. You remember that we did one in the Sleuteloverdracht in Maastricht?
The Sleuteloverdracht. I remember that.
Inside the City Hall of Maastricht.
This was such a crazy experience. So in 2007, I performed with André Rieu and the Johann Strauss Orchestra, and Frank was there for the first time at the Vreithof in Maastricht. So it was my first really big open air concert with André. And at the concert was the mayor of Maastricht at the time, was Geert Leers. And he's such a sweet man, and he was just, I think he was really, really happy to see this Australian girl there, and he came up to me afterwards, and we became quite good friends. And then he said to me, you know what the biggest event in Maastricht is? It's Carnival. And I had never heard of it. I was like, what's that? And so he's like, everyone gets dressed up in costumes. And I was like, whoa, which country am I in? This sounds like a crazy place. So he actually invited us together to do the song that I sang at the Vreithof that year, which was Concerto pour un voix, which is a vocalise. And he invited me to come dressed as the angel of Maastricht. So if you see the flag of Maastricht, it's an angel holding a star, like a shield. So he said, you're going to be the angel of Maastricht, the Engel van Maastricht. So he got me dressed up as this angel on a hydraulic lift system in the town hall. And Frank played on the carillon, the backing of Concerto pour un voix, and I'm singing it for this Carnival. So the Sleuteloverdracht, for those of you who don't know much about Carnival, like I didn't know, is where there's always a prince who is the Prince of Carnival, and he gets given the key by the mayor of the city, so that for that week he has the key of the city. So he's the big man on campus. So so at that ceremony, that's where we did this song. Oh my goodness. And I remember Andre, who was sitting there as well, and he was just like, what is happening? It was so insane, but we had so much fun.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
And then afterwards, can you tell about what happened afterwards?
Long dress, and the dress got bigger while you were lifted hydraulically, and the dress was getting longer and longer. At some point you were like 5 meters tall, singing high, everything. So from the angel of Australia you went to the angel of Maastricht. Yeah.
Like I literally looked like I had like come in from Australia. That's how long the dress was.
Yeah.
And then afterwards we celebrated, because the mayor of Maastricht said to us and to Andre, come and join us, come and join the festivities. And they took us on this night of craziness, and all the prints were there and everything was happening, and we got these like badges to celebrate that we were part of the prince's celebrations. And they invited us to this dinner which was full of Maastricht food, and I had never eaten any of the stuff, and so they were serving me up like knien in het zuur. You can translate what that is.
It's rabbit. It's a special Maastricht dish with vinegar. Yeah, it's very good actually. Yeah. Yeah,
and Blutwurst.
Blutwurst, yeah. We have all kind of actually disgusting things, but it tastes very good. It's a sausage made of blood.
Sausage made of blood. Lovely.
And zuurvlees.
Zuurvlees. Well, I love that. I really love that. And I try to make it here down under in Australia, but it's really difficult to do without the proper ingredients.
Yeah, but if you have a slow cooker, it's easy.
I've got a slow cooker, yeah.
And Mirusia gave me a slow cooker, us a slow cooker for our wedding. So, and now since 2 months, since he gave me this present, I can cook. That's good. Before
we have a message. We've got a message from a lady. Now, please excuse me if I don't get the pronunciation wrong. Right. It's Beth Lumbriex, and she wanted me to tell you that she loves your music and she grew up with the music of the Carillon because there's one in the Stadthaus. There's also an organ there, which you used to play. And she says that you might recognize my name, Beth Lumbriex, but my grandfather and his 2 sons were the organ builders and repairers in Maastricht, Pierreboom and Sons.
Pierreboom, yeah, very, very famous. Yeah.
There you go. So she's.
Oh.
There you go. She sent her regards. Now, Frank, I want to take you on a little journey. A journey down memory lane. This is a little, this is just a little interval in our chat. I want to show you these photos and you can tell me what they are.
Okay. Oh my, look at how young we were. This is the first day we met. This is your audition. Isn't it? Yeah.
That was my audition.
We're like a baby. Yeah.
That was the first day that we ever met.
Yeah.
It was amazing. We had such a great night. Now, this one.
It's with Sana in the bus. Yeah, we were together in the bus.
Yes, bus 3. Represent.
I think this is the moment in history that we were in this with the 2 of you actually being awake.
We love sleeping.
Always sleeping. Yeah.
Always sleeping. Always sleeping.
Yeah, always. Especially Sana.
Yes.
She comes into the bus and we leave. She's sleeping, and after everybody has left, to pick her up. Yeah.
That's it.
You as well.
Yeah.
Kind of thing gone. You remember the time in Edmonton in the Rocky Mountains? We had a night drive with our buses, and at some point the buses had to stop because there is a whole flock. You say a flock of deer in the middle of the road, and they wouldn't go away. And there were deer fighting, with their, and we were making pictures for 20 minutes. And at some point, you would take something. What's all the? Oh my God, are they real? So everybody was already making pictures for 20 minutes, and then we woke up and joined the party. I remember.
For me, I was just this young girl from Australia, and suddenly there we are in Canada, and there's just deer and moose literally everywhere, and I couldn't believe my eyes. These were real animals, and they were really standing there. And we stayed in such an amazing place. It was some mountain lodge, and all around was just like this low-hanging fog and just moose everywhere. They were everywhere, and it was so beautiful. Incredible. And the mountains with the snow, it was just insane. All right, next photo. Can you tell me where this is?
Oh, that's the... Oh, wait. That's in... It's not New York, is it?
No.
Is that Shanghai?
Close. Singapore.
Singapore, yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Cool.
We went down to see the light show at the Marina Bay Sands.
Yeah.
Moment. And I think that was 2013, and we did this actually really insane tour of Asia, and it was a really quick tour. We went to China, and we went to Taiwan, and we went to Singapore.
Yeah.
And I remember that when we arrived, I think the first concert was in Shanghai, and we had an interpreter who was translating the concert. So Andre would speak in English, and we had this beautiful woman, Britta Heidemann. She came out and spoke in Chinese. Now, Britta is a world champion fencer from Germany. She's gorgeous. She's actually expecting a baby. She's so gorgeous. And the three of us became really good friends on that tour. And we would do everything together because she could translate everything, because she could speak Mandarin. And it was so amazing just to see this blonde, tall woman, and then she'd be just speaking the language. And we were just, and people would just, their eyes would pop out of their head when they just saw her speak, because it was so incredible, because she's just this like model walking. Anyway, one night we were in Taiwan, and she said to us, hey, do you guys want to come with me? I'm going to go get a Taiwanese massage. So we were like, oh yeah, that sounds cool. Sounds relaxing, you know? So we joined her and we went to this Taiwanese massage bar, and they put us in these chairs and they said, so just roll up your pants. So there we sat in this chairs, and it was pretty chill. Like, I think they gave us tea or whatever. And we each got somebody who was to massage our calf muscle. It was just the calf muscle. That was it. And the foot, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my goodness. The pain.
I remember.
I will never forget how painful that massage was. Never before and never again. And she was just sitting there like, this is so relaxing. And we were like,
girl. She's Olympic champion or something, so she was used to it, and then we were like completely being tortured. Yeah, I remember.
I know, it was torture. And we got back to the hotel and we just looked at each other like, I think I'm going to have a hot bath now, because I don't think I can walk tomorrow. All right, last picture of our walk down memory lane.
Ah, 5 years ago today, do you know, 5 years ago was the bachelor party of your husband. Exactly today,
so that's my husband there.
And this was the day. Fantastic.
This is the wedding. This is the wedding. Yeah. So there's Yuri looking very nervous, and Joseph and Frank, the groomsman.
Yeah.
Frank, you really saved the day that day. So Frank and Joseph were Yuri's groomsmen, and Josef's wife is Giedra Mundinaite, who plays violin. Some of you will know her. She did the ice skating in the DVD with Andre, and she plays in my orchestra in the Netherlands as well. Anyway, she was heavily pregnant at our wedding, and was actually in labor during the ceremony, and we all didn't know. She didn't even know herself. She was just like, I'm in discomfort, but I'll be all right, you know. She's such a tough girl. And she actually had to, they left. So Joseph left the bridal party after the photos, and they left, and they had a baby that night. So our wedding was extremely special, because not only did we get married, we also gained another family member in Alvarez. So Frank was left to do the groomsman duties, and we had Yuri's brother-in-law who stepped in and became another groomsman, and gosh, you guys did an on-the-fly speech that night, and it was so beautiful. Eliza Turner says, what a trooper. Absolutely. Everyone was a trooper that day. I think our real wedding, so a lot of people have seen the wedding that André Rieu and Marjorie gifted Yuri and I for our wedding. They wrote us a song together with you, Frank, called Mio Angelo, which means my angel. And we did a whole episode for Sky Arts about the wedding, and that we were getting married, and that Andre and Marjorie's gift to us would be this film clip and this song. And so we all celebrated with the whole orchestra. So it was like having a double wedding. And so very different to that day. Our actual wedding was, everything happened. You could have filmed it like a movie. Like, everything that could have happened that day. We had babies, we had everything going on. So yeah, so Frank, thank you again for being such an amazing groomsman. And it seems like we've both had interesting weddings, because yours was a Corona wedding, and I was so thankful to join you on FaceTime on your wedding day.
Yeah, cool.
It was very special.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about your wedding day to Medica?
Yeah. So we wanted to get married, and this whole Corona came, and we were only allowed to take 2 witnesses. So one for me, one for Medica, and one wedding. How you say that in het Engels? The wedding performer. The one who would.
The master of ceremonies or the celebrant?
Yeah, the ambtenaar die ons zou. And so we were only allowed to get 5 people. And so I called Marcel van Hoorn, our friend, the photographer, and said, can you come at 3 o'clock till about 15 after 3 and make some pictures, because we're going in and going out. And then our colleagues of the orchestra decided differently, because they knew when we would get married, and they invited everybody on a safe distance. And we actually got married in the tower, up in the tower at the Carillon, and Madika and I would sing together. I would play, she would sing, and then we got married, and we put the rings on the finger, and bells to announce the city that we were married. And to our big surprise, so our friends from the orchestra surprised us actually with a flash mob, all on safe distance, but they were all there. So it was the biggest surprise of our life. Yeah, cool.
That's amazing. Oh, that's so beautiful. I love that. Oh, well, Frank, I could speak to you for hours. I have a feeling that we're having a bit of an internet connection problem. We're kind of losing you. I don't know if you can check your internet connection. Now, I just want to talk about a couple more memories before we wrap it up. And if you have any more questions, people out there, anyone who's watching out there, hello to everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you for sending us those lovely hearts on the side. You can always press some hearts for us. If you have any questions for us, just leave them in the comments, and we'll try to answer those for you. Now, I want to talk about the fact that, Frank, we've been together on tour for many, many years, since 2007. And I want to talk about the fact that whenever we enter a hotel, we go on a search together to look for a piano.
Yes, true. Yeah, because we're so full of adrenaline from the concert that we can't go to sleep anyway. So whenever we go to a hotel and there is a piano, we try to open it. If it doesn't work, we find the key. And at the end, we're always at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the night, we're giving a concert in some hotel hall or a hallway. We're always finding a piano and giving concerts. Yeah. And then people are literally coming out of their rooms, and most of the time they like it, and they come and sit with their pajamas on, and we have a nightly concert with wine.
We do.
Wine from the bar. I play, you sing.
We have had so many impromptu concerts. It's so funny. I remember that we were in New Zealand and we just finished our tour, and we'd found this amazing grand piano just down somewhere underneath the stairs of the lobby, and we were just sitting there for hours jamming. And it's so great. Sana always joins us, and she always sings On My Own from Les Miserables, and oh my goodness, she's so gorgeous when she sings that song. I think I've never been so moved hearing her sing it. She's so beautiful when she sings that song, and we always just get whoever's around, it's like, sing us a song. Can you tell us, Frank, what's one of your favorite party numbers that you pull out, your little, hat trick that you pull out in one of those events?
Let me see. Most of the time we did a lot of emotional songs, actually, didn't we?
Yeah.
So we are doing Andrew Lloyd Webber musicals, or because it's late in the evening, and we have done Hey Jude, and then everybody But most of the time we are doing like feel good, romantic songs in late night, and so if we find a piano on in the afternoon, it's different. Then we have this party songs, and then we do the Viennese music and pop music, whatever people ask, we play. So
whatever. Oh, I'll never forget when Anna Reiko was there, and we did the Russian one.
yes,
and then she ended up singing it on stage as soloist. I mean, that's just kind of how it works. And Andre was there, and suddenly there we go. She's singing it on stage. Anna Reika is such a gorgeous soprano. Oh my goodness, Frank, we've had so many memories together. It's such a pleasure to know you. You are, and as I said in your introduction, you're like my big brother. And I'll never forget how when I arrived in Maastricht as a 21-year-old girl, totally on my own, not knowing anything, that you really took me under your wing and you just said, come with me, I'm going to show you around. And we became best friends right off the bat. And I just want to thank you so much for always being there in my life, and for being such an incredible performer and giving your whole heart when you perform on stage. We all see it. We all love you very, very much around the world. And we can't wait till you're back on stage again and we can watch you with all of your enthusiasm. We just love you so much, Frank. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Exactly the same, of course, is for you, my little sister, and one colleague, Angel. Yeah, I'm so happy. And also for Yuri, and yeah, from the wedding that I was a groomsman, the most gorgeous daughter in the whole world, Sasha. So yeah, we all love you very much. And though we are on different sides of the world, it doesn't feel like that. And yeah, let's keep it that way.
Absolutely, Frank. Thank you so very much for joining us. I'm going to play everybody out with your gorgeous version of Concerto de Aranjuez on Carillon. Thank you so much for joining us, Frank, and we'll see you again another time.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this Instagram Live with Frank Steijns, all the way from Maastricht in the Netherlands. If you want to see more of Frank, you can always have a look on YouTube, or you can buy the DVDs of André Rieu and the JSO, where you'll see Frank playing the violin and sometimes playing the piano, and of course, the carillon. Have a great night, everybody. Wherever you are around the world, stay safe, stay healthy, and most of all, stay happy. And we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.